Good evening. Welcome to the latest live edition of Last Bowl Boxing. Tonight it's just me and Andy by the looks of it. So, Andy, good evening.
All right, pal.
All right, all good, all good. So, we've got quite a bit to get through this week. So, let's crack on. So, first topic, there's only one place to start this week, and that's the Canelo show rolls into town again. So, obviously, Canelo fights. Let's get this right. Jamal, I believe it is, Charlo, coming up from a couple of weights to take on the super middleweight king. I don't think he's got a cat in hell's chance, but I'll let you make a start, Andy.
Well, in reality, Canelo's the same, same kind of size and all that malarkey. But Canelo's spent years filling out into this superweight division now. He's a proper superweight, even though his height ain't a proper superweight. He is. Yeah. But by, all means and purposes, a proper superweight, super middleweight. So I agree with you, mate. Charlo don't have a prayer. He hasn't fought since May 2022.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a payday, Andy, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's a cash grab.
The thing is, though, mate, why are these fights even happening? It tells you that the top end of the super middleweight division is not strong enough.
Well, I've said on previous shows, Anto, how poor I think it is compared to years gone by.
It's a shame, mate. Because Canelo should be having absolutely massive fights. And Charlo's a big name, don't get me wrong. But he just isn't going to be strong enough. He isn't going to be strong enough to put a dent in Canelo. And you can't go into a fight against someone like Canelo. And if you can't hurt him, mate, and you can't put him off, he's just going to keep walking through you.
Yeah, it'll be a long night. Long night. I mean, I didn't realise Canelo was only 33. Feels like, I know he's been boxing since he was about 10, but I thought he was older than 33, I'll be honest.
I know, mate. He could have another fucking 5 or 6 years in him. It's
he could with the state of the super middleweight division. I mean, yeah, you still talk about the John Ryder and Zach Parkers. With all due respect, I don't think either of them would. Well, it was proved that John Ryder couldn't trouble Canelo. I know he did well to last Andy, don't get me wrong, but he was never going to win, was he?
No.
It was very
and there's not looking like anybody on this side of the pond anytime soon that's gonna trouble Canelo, I'm afraid.
Is there anybody?
I
can't think of anybody. It's super middle.
Benavidez, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I
mean, Canelo keeps putting that fight off. Is he putting it off because he don't want it to be a Mexico v Mexico? But then how massive would that be on Mexico weekend?
Yeah.
He keeps like ignoring the fight. Like, I don't really understand why. I mean, Canelo's scared of nobody, mate. His record proves he'll fight anybody. Yeah. So,
pardon the pun, there's probably a bit of beef there between them. I'm here all night for the jokes. But what I would say is, he keeps saying that Benavidez has got to earn the right to fight him. Well, you can't say that when you're jumping in with a Charlo, can you?
No.
What's he done to earn the fight?
Well, he's undisputed at super welter, isn't it?
That's not his weight class, though, is it?
He's proved his worth as a fighter.
Not at that weight class, though, Andy. Not more than Benavidez.
Right. No, that's right. Moving up 2 weights, it's way too much to ask against someone of Canelo's stature. I mean, I just there's plenty of people for Charlo to be fine at his weight division, mate. And he just don't want to do it, clearly. The question needs to be asked again of the organisations. He's undisputed champion, mate. He hasn't fought in a year, nearly a year and a half. Why have none of those organisations put it on him?
Yeah.
He holds all. I mean, that's holding the divisional. But it don't work for me, mate. I just don't understand boxing at times.
I think it just shows a state of play, don't it? It shows a state of play, the super middleweight, that he's got to jump around looking for opponents in other weight classes and then going to have to step up.
I think he thought he could move up to light heavyweight and he could dominate there, and obviously that's not happened.
No,
and he's had to rethink his strategy, mate. I mean, he might end up getting bored and just retire because there's no one else to fight. I just don't see. I don't see where, like I say, other than Benavidez, I don't see where an opponent's coming from in his division.
I mean, even Zach Parker's talking about stepping up to fight Anthony Yard. That's how poor the super middleweight division is. You don't tell me he's doing that through choice.
He's doing that because he knows he isn't going to get the Canelo fight anytime soon.
And there's nobody else, is there? Let's be honest. Name me another big name at super middleweight.
Yeah, it's a struggle, isn't it? It's a struggle, mate.
So I think it'll be a stoppage. I'm going for about round 6. I think as soon as he whips them body shots in, Charlo's going to feel it.
I mean, Charlo's quality, mate. Don't get me wrong. Charlo's quality. And I think he'll last a bit longer than that. I think he's got real quality. The problem is, like you've just said, when Canelo gets to him and lands some serious shots, which will happen at some point in the fight, I don't know how Charlo was going to react to it, mate. He probably won't have felt the power that Canelo's got.
I mean, you know, if you was Eubank Jr., you'd fill your boots at this super middleweight division at the minute, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be messing around going up and down the weights. I'd sit at super middle and start to collect them belts.
Well, the question's got to be asked: why is he not doing that then? Why is he focusing on fighting welterweights?
Don't know.
And super welterweights. Why is he doing that? Why is he not chasing the super middleweight champion? Why, you know, he talks about it, but then he does nothing about it. He talks the big fights. He should be Eubank should be focusing on someone that's right up there. Ugas or no, not Ugas. He's not. He's welterweight. What we're talking about. What's his name? Caleb Plant.
Yeah, someone like him. Or Caleb John Ryder. Go and beat John Ryder.
A John Ryder or a Caleb Plant that have both been in with Canelo, both done really well against Canelo up to a point. That will tell you where Eubank is. If he beats one of them two, then he deserves a shot at Canelo.
Yeah.
But you can't expect him. He talks about wanting to collect gold. Well, you're not doing that by fighting welterweights, are you? It's strange, mate. I don't understand his tactics.
No.
Maybe his mindset will change with his new coach. I don't know, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I just think the matchmaking puzzles me. It puzzles me, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, which we're not going to agree on. So I'm responsible for the headings, by the way. So anyone wants to have a dig, come and have a dig at me, no problem. So I'll let you take this one away. Caroline Dubois, I personally think it's awful matchmaking. I think there's much more valued stroke learning fights she could have took it rather than going down the IBO route, which nobody rates that organisation in terms of world title, let's be honest. When Eubank Jr. went down that way, nobody classed him as a world title holder, let's be honest. So personally, I think it's either awful matchmaking or awful promotional work by Boxer. There you go. Over to you.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, me and you have already had a kind of a little bit of a heated discussion on WhatsApp about this. To me, this is absolutely, completely, 100% different to Eubank because it might be the same organisation, but Caroline Dubois is only 7-0. She's still learning the game, but she's too good for European level, mate. So, what do they do with her? They're not going to throw her straight in with Katie Taylor. They're not going to throw her straight in with Chantel Cameron. They got to build. They still got to build, mate. But she's too good for the other levels.
But there is that next level down from them kind of operators, isn't there? And the bottom line is there isn't the depth in female fighting. Eventually, she's gonna reach them echelons.
I know that. But hear me out. So this is I think this is good matchmaking. I think it's good matchmaking by Boxer. I think it's good management by Cyclone and Barry Earn. I think it's good coaching. I do
McGuigan,
because
not Earn. McGuigan.
Sorry, Barry McGuigan. I told you I'm tired tonight. Good matchmaking by Barry McGuigan and good coaching. It's the right choice of fight for this point in a career. Now, listen, right. Forget about the organisation. Forget about the name on the belt.
She'll go in and blast this opponent out again.
No, she won't, because this opponent's more durable than that.
Nah.
This opponent's more durable than that. It'll last longer. And also, Carl, what it'll do is, it might not be the most prestigious organisation, but what it'll do is it'll attract other fighters at different levels to fight her. People don't want to go near her at the minute because she's got nothing to offer. So when she's a WBO champion, she has something to offer.
Oh, come on.
Listen to me. Just listen, right? And then you can have your say, right? Like I just said, it's not the most prestigious belt, but it's still a world title, right? Of some description. So these people that are above that level, that are world level fighters that can't get a shot at Katie Taylor, can't get a shot at Chantel Cameron, they'll look at this, right? After this Caroline Dubois wins this, they'll look at that fight and they'll go, well, it's a world title. I'll take her on because she's still young, she's still learning, she's still raw. This would be a good opportunity. So when then she gets that fight and beats that opponent, then you can say she's up at world level. She'll also get herself into the top 10 rankings because she's not there at the minute. This is good, mate. This is good for her career at this stage. Away you go.
I think it's poor. I just don't think it adds any value. She's going to go in with a sub-rated opponent from a nonsense governing body, blast her out again. Then Ben Shalom's going to come on and start talking how she's the world champion. The truth is, the depth's not there in female fighting. So if she had a stellar amateur career as well, which almost means she needs fast tracking because she's probably fighting opponents that are worse than she's fought in the amateurs. So inevitably, she's got to fight at the top of the division.
Yeah, but
if you're good enough, you're old enough.
I get that, but she's only had 7 fights, mate.
But she's had a stellar amateur career behind that.
She has, but it's a different game, Carl. Come on.
But she's still got the skills in the bank, hasn't she? I just don't see what. It's either Boxer can't land that fight for her, or they're just protecting an asset until.
Hold on. I can Boxer land a fight for her when she's got a rematch with Chantel Cameron. Then she's probably going to go into the Serrano fight, and then she'll probably retire. So,
but what I mean is, she's not the only one, is she? She's not the only operator in this division. I'm not this. It could have been a lot more credible opponent.
Yeah, but okay. I've told you why they're doing it, because these other opponents probably don't want to face Dubois. What does Caroline Dubois offer somebody at world level? Say
if they pay enough money, they'll jump in. Say
a Pursoon, for example, right? Delphine Pursoon. What does Caroline Dubois put on the table to attract Delphine Pursoon to fight her at this stage? Because it's a no-win situation for Pursoon. It's a win-win for Caroline Dubois because everyone knows how good and dangerous Pursoon is. For example, I'm using that as an example name, right? Everyone knows how dangerous she is. If Caroline Dubois struggled in that fight, everyone will go, well, that's all right because it's early in your pro career. You're still learning. Whereas Pursoon, for her, everyone will say, well, you should be beating Caroline Dubois because she's only just come on the scene in the pro ranks. So having a world title, even if it is an IBO, it dangles a carrot to the likes of Pursoon. Dangles a carrot because she's not going to get another shot at Katie Taylor.
Nobody wants the IBO. That's not going to change Pursoon's perspective.
It's a stepping stone, Carl. You're missing the point, mate. It's a stepping stone.
No, I'm not missing the point. It's just nonsense because nobody wanted to jump in with Eubank Jr. anymore because he had the IBO. So what's going to make him want to jump in with a fresher Caroline Dubois?
So the different. Okay, so I said at the top of my argument, it's completely different, and this is why. When Eubank won that IBO super middleweight title, he never pushed on. He had an opportunity to push on to bigger and better things, and he never did it. That's his own doing. There's no way the McGuigans are going to allow Caroline Dubois to sit on this title and defend it and defend it and defend it.
But it has no value, does it, in terms of her getting another opponent? Because
yes,
if you're talking about the upper echelons, that division, do they care whether there's an IBO or not?
They've got more chance of getting a world-level fighter in against Dubois having that belt on her.
No. If she beat a credible opponent who's up high in the rankings, then you've got a chance of fighting the top-end fighters.
No, you see, that's I completely oppositely agree. Because if she beats somebody at an high level, she's got less chance of someone like a Pursuit stepping in with her. Because they'll know how dangerous she is.
This is doing nothing for her. Absolutely nothing.
This girl she's fighting is a good fighter, mate.
No, she'll blast her out.
No, she won't. She won't blast her out. She's a good fighter. She's from Mexico. She's tough. She's rugged. She's got 22 wins in a.
Who against?
Mexican fighters, mate.
So who of note then?
Well, I don't know because I don't know Mexican fighters. But the point that doesn't just because you don't know the name don't mean they're not good fighters, does it? How many? Hold on a minute. Hold on. How many times in the last year have you turned around and said these Mexican fighters they keep bringing over that we don't know are dangerous?
No, but that's happening. I'm telling you, she'll blast her out because if she's any good, she won't be competing for the IBO. When them other Mexican fighters competing for the IBO?
Probably loads of times.
No.
Of course they have.
No, it's nonsense. It's poor. I would suggest again. I keep coming back to this point. My concern is with bench and boxers that they can't. When it comes down to the crux of it, he can't land them big fights.
Carl, you know as well as I do,
unless it's Tom versus Booker about 45 each.
You know as well as I do, mate. You've said it loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of times about certain fighters that are dangerous. He's not getting a shot because he has nothing to bring to the table. He's too dangerous. Nobody wants to fight him above his level because what does he offer? Well, this is exactly what
Are you telling me DAZN and Eddie Hearn would have her going down the IBO route at this stage?
Eddie Hearn has his fighters holding IBO titles.
No,
of course he does.
It would have an incredible. He'll be building a path for her to the top of the division.
That's exactly what Boxer are doing, mate.
No,
they're just doing they're just taking it a slightly different route to the one that you're happy with.
I'll predict that she'll leave Boxer because he can't land in the big fights when it comes to it.
The problem you've got is that currently the lightweight champion and the super lightweight champion both hail from DAZN and Matchroom. So you're in a position, mate, where them fights don't always happen. We've said it 1,000,001 times. Them fights don't always happen because of promotion restrictions. Caroline Dubois is doing the next best thing. She's going to get her a better. She can get a better ranking by having the IBO title. She's then going to attract better opponents. There's no two ways about it. She'll attract better opponents because she's got a belt. It might not be one of the 4 top belts, but it's still a belt. She'll attract better opponents, mate. You watch.
I will tell, but I think you're wrong. I think Boxer is struggling. I've made my thoughts on Boxer. The only reason he can make big fights at cruisers because he's got them all in ass. I worry for Ben Shalom making big fights when it comes to big fights. So that's my views anyway. So moving on.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one, mate. I think you're being very harsh on Caroline Dubois. She's only had 7 pro fights.
It's not her fault. She's the only fighter who's put in front of her. It's not her fault. It's a management team around her. You
can't. Again, mate. You can't just. She's a young girl. You can't just throw her in with the very elite at the level at the division.
I'm not talking about the very elite. I'm just not talking about an IBO fighter who she's probably going to blast out because she's not even.
She's not going to blast her out.
We'll see, but she'll blast her out because she's not even at the level what she's operating at amateurs.
She's not going to blast her out.
The problem Boxer have got is that the boxing public in the UK are very educated, and we've said this before. They're not going to keep tolerating her being put in with substandard opponents. Let's be honest.
How do you know this girl's a substandard opponent?
Well, I just think, well, let's see. Let's see if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll come on next week and admit I'm wrong. Let's see.
This would be a toughest test so far.
Which don't add up too much, does it?
But you can't just because she's had a stellar amateur career, you can't just chuck her straight in at world level, Colin. It don't work like that.
I'm not, but there's all different levels, isn't there? At the minute she's going in and blasting opponents out. I understand she needs learning fights, but she doesn't need a lengthy learning process. And there's levels, isn't there? I'm not saying throw her in with the elite level, but for crying out loud, give the girl a test. And I don't think this is one.
It is. It is.
We'll see.
It is a test.
If I'm wrong, I'll come on next week and say I'm wrong. But my gut feeling is that she's going to go in, have it all her own way, and then blast her out. So let's see.
Couple more fights on this card, then, mate.
Yeah.
We'll just agree to disagree on that one. We'll talk about it next week.
Which I think's an awful card, by the way. I'll throw that in there as well. I think if this was a matchroom card, we'd be going in on it.
Well, okay. Well, let's look at a couple more fights. It's not the strongest card in the world. I agree with you. So Callum Simpson, currently 12-0 super middleweight. He's in against Jose Jesus Macias. 28, 12, and 4 with 14 knockouts. So he's got a bit of pop. Again, this is one where Callum Simpson you think could come through this fight. But again, you never know. Coming from Mexico, mate, you just never know.
Where's he ranked in the IBO?
Coming from Mexico, mate, you never know. We've seen it time and time again.
But then we've had some dreadful fighters from there as well. Let's be honest. So you do get a mixed bag.
But you don't know, do you? Because we don't know the Mexican market. You just don't know what you're going to get. And half the time, I don't think the promoters know what they're going to get either. If you asked Eddie Hearn, is Lara going to beat Warrington and is Lara going to beat Wood? Before he brought Lara over, he'd gone no chance.
There's only really Lopez and Lara recently, though, isn't it? I know they're two damn good fighters, don't get me wrong, but there has been some others that come over and been shocking.
Well, okay. Another highlight off the show, and this is one that's quite interesting. Francesca Hennessy making a pro debut, obviously from the Hennessy stable, Hennessy family, real boxing people, mate, real boxing blood. Be interesting to see how she goes on. She's fighting at bantamweight. She's in against a girl with a losing record, but that don't really matter on a pro debut, does it? Oh, then again, you think they ought to be fighting world champions?
It don't matter when you're fighting for boxer. So yeah, just you know what I mean. Don't matter if you debut or what.
Just whack her in with Ebony Bridges there. Just chuck her in at world level.
Well, if you listen to what I said, I'm not suggesting that, but Christ, when it comes to Dubois, throw him with someone who can actually punch back.
Oh, come on, mate.
If you can attract that fighter, it all depends about
what. Well, that's the whole point of the belt. That's the whole point of the belt. You're missing the trick.
Let's give her the Conor Benn approach that you used to bang on about. Let's give her 20 odd fights, eh?
You're missing the trick, mate. You're missing the trick.
We'll soon find out. You're gonna learn nothing from Saturday. Absolutely nothing. You mark my words. Nothing. Anyway, talk about what else on this stellar card.
So Vidal Riley is fighting for the English cruiserweight title against, I can't even read my own writing, Nathan, and I can't read his last name. I apologise.
Nathan Kearless, isn't it?
That's it. Apologies, I can't even read my own writing tonight. I'm having a bit of a mare. But yes, so this is obviously an interesting fight, mate.
That's all decent.
Both unbeaten. His opponent is got a decent KO record. Going to be interesting. This I like Vidal Riley. He's progressed really well. I think he's learned a lot since the first couple of fights. Coming from where he came from,
he's doing it the right way. He's getting his nut down and just
he is.
Getting on with it.
Yeah, and he's dealing with people that are in front of him, and he's gone the right route here. English title, good respect to him for doing that. So let's see how that goes. That interesting fight. Just want to pick up a fight that I forgot to mention on the Alvarez card as well. Your Danish Ugas is fighting Mario Barrios for the WBC interim welterweight title. Really good fight, this, mate. Barrios is super tough. Only lost to elite. So he's only lost to Keith Thurman in 2022 and Gervonta Davis in 2021. So real top draw. Ugas has had 5 losses himself against very good levels. So I think
the only reason Ugas, has got notoriety is because he beat a spent Manny Pacquiao. That's
he's bordering. Well, I think he is probably world level, but he's not elite. And Barrios is the same, world level but not elite. This is going to be a very close fight, in my opinion. It's going to be really interesting. The one thing though that I will say about this fight is neither of them fight more than once a year. And this sums up boxing at the minute.
Yeah, they're not anyone's guilty of that stateside, especially.
I don't understand fighters. I really don't. Unless they're getting, unless the money's that good in these fights that they're getting, that they don't have to fight again, or the hunger's not there. Don't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it'll be a good scrap.
Okay then. Let's see. Let's see how the Your Call show goes for Sky and Boxer. It is a smaller card, but that's probably why it's on at Your Call, mate. I'm not overly disappointed with the card. It is what it is.
So which one we've been watching that? So what are you watching, that or DAZN?
Oh, I watched the DAZN card. I think it's a stronger card, but what I can't make my mind up whether I want to watch Caroline Dubois or the main event on DAZN, which looks like a very, very good fight. Let's go on to that now, then, Cole.
Yeah. So,
Jai Opetaia against Jordan Thompson for the IBF Cruiserweight title. This is a very, very, very good fight. Obviously, Jai Opetaia won the belt from Marius Bridis in 2022. He hasn't fought since, though. Or once since.
He broke his jaw, didn't he?
Once since, I think. I think he fought once since.
He broke his jaw in that fight, didn't he? So it took a while for him to get back.
Yeah, I think he's fought once since, but it was a bit of a warm-up fight just to get him ready. I really rate Jordan Thompson, mate.
Yeah, I think this is coming out party. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I really rate Jordan Thompson, and I think he'll win. Everyone's like blowing smoke up Jai Opetaia's butt, but I think Jordan Thompson's proper top draw. I really do.
I mean, what I would say, again, while we're talking about opening opportunities up, props to Matchroom for getting Opetaia to come over to the UK. What an opportunity for Jordan Thompson that is.
Yeah, and they can. The thing is, what other opportunities is he going to get in his own land, mate?
Yeah, but he could have took a takeover fight, a bit like Dubois doing. He could sit there and fight some domestic up-and-comer who is going to blast that. So, props for Opetaia as well for coming over to fight Thompson, because it's not an easy fight.
No, it's a very good fight. It's a very good fight. And this is, like you say, it's gonna tell you what Jordan Thompson was all about. So it's either going to be he's coming out party, or we're going to see that he's not at that level.
How many fighters has Thompson had? I've not got my record in front of me.
15 with 12 KOs.
Yeah.
Quality, mate. Absolute quality. But we're going to see, because some of the opponents he's had in those 12 KOs have not been great.
Yeah.
Again, learning fights. So he's taking his opportunity, and we'll see just how good he is.
See, Jai Opetaia is 22 and 17 KOs, but again, when you talk about Oceania boxing, Australia and New Zealand, you don't quite know who them opponents are, do you?
No.
So you don't know what level they're at.
No, you don't. You don't.
So it could be a bit of a rude awakening for Oppenheimer when he gets in with Thompson.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see how good they both are, aren't we? Breedis was past his best. I mean, when you're getting dressed up as Super Mario and doing stupid things like getting a Jake Paul tattoo on your leg and all that malarkey, I mean, clearly you're not focusing on boxing, are you?
He cashed out, didn't he? Let's be honest, he cashed out. Probably got a shed load of money for going over to Oz.
Is what it is, mate. So we'll see, won't we? We'll just see how good Oppenheimer is. Let's talk down the card a little bit, Carl, because let's get a prediction off of us both for the main event first.
So I'm going to go Jordan Thompson to stop him late. I'm going to go round 9. Thompson.
I think this might end up even earlier, mate. I'm going to go round 6. I think Thompson's going to do a number on him. That's how good I think Thompson is. So we'll see. So moving down the card a little bit, Ellie Scottney is in with Laura Griffier.
Yeah.
Who's very experienced. 28 and 8.
If Scottney's as good as I think she is, she's got to be winning fights like this and looking good as well.
Scottney's fantastic, mate.
Yeah.
When she beat Shanika Johnson, she just showed the quality. She really is top draw. Also on the card, and this is an interesting one because it relates to the main event, and that's Chev Clark fighting for the IBF International Cruiserweight against
Continental Cruiserweight, right?
Yes, against Vasil Dukar, who's 14-6-2. Chev Clark's obviously only 6-0. Very raw Chev Clark, but clearly carries some serious power.
Nice to see him jumping in with an active opponent, though.
He's an absolute handful, mate. He's going to be an handful for anyone in this division.
He's getting better and better. When I watched him in Nottingham very early on in his career, I've gone on record and saying I wasn't overly impressed.
Yeah.
But recently, he's starting to look the part.
Yeah. Very, very good last time out, mate. He's going to be a handful for anybody. When he with a little bit more experience, he's doing some serious damage in this division. Okay, a couple of female fights on the undercard as well. So Rhiannon Dixon's fighting for the vacant European lightweight title against a name I'm not even going to try and pronounce. From Norway, and the girl from Norway is 16-1. Again, you never know with the record. Doesn't look like she's got much power though, because she's only got 2 KOs. Rhiannon Dixon's very, very good. I expect her to come through this fight. She's currently 8-0.
What's Rhiannon Dixon?
8-0.
So compared to Caroline Dubois, there's chalk and cheese regarding opponents.
Why?
Because she's got much more of a reputable resume, hasn't she?
Why?
I'll tell you what, I bet you Rhiannon's opponent would be Caroline Dubois' opponent every day of the week.
You can't say that. How can you say that?
And what's it for? European what? What's it for? European what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
European lightweight title. So it's the same division. How do you know? I mean, do you know either of these opponents?
It's more reputable though into the European route rather than going down the IBO route. Yes?
But the IBO...
So why couldn't Caroline Dubois go down the European route?
Because Rhiannon Dixon's fighting for it. On a different promotion.
But that doesn't matter regarding the opponent, does it? Money talks. So why not throw Dubois?
I don't understand your logic. If
quite easy. Why would you take it down the IBO route? Why would you take it down the IBO route when you take it down? How often do you talk about going area title, British, European, Wales.
Yeah, I do. But female fighters don't have a British title.
But she could have gone down the European route. That's my point.
Not when Rihanna Dixon's fighting for it on
DAZN. What say she fights Rihanna Dixon next time?
Well, that could happen. If it happens, great.
I just feel like Caroline Dubois, her matchmaking's awful.
I don't.
Who's going to get the most credibility? Who's going to get the most credibility from victories this weekend? Rihanna Dixon or Caroline Dubois?
You're being very anti Caroline Dubois and boxer. You really are, because there's no comparison to the two fights. They're very similar.
Matchmaking.
They're very similar.
So who's going to get the most?
They're both vacant titles, right?
Which one would you rather have?
One's a world title.
Which one would you rather have? Which one holds the most credibility? And don't tell me you're going to say the IBO.
As the European title's obviously been around longer, and that's the route people take to go to world level.
The answer is then that's got more credibility.
But two people can't fight for it on the same night on different shows.
But there's nothing stopping. What I'm saying is they're clearly not taking it down the European route, are they? They've gone down the IBO route. They could. Let's be honest. They could have gone down the European route.
Well, you don't know that, do you? Are you part of negotiations, Carl?
I just find it very strange. Very strange.
Are you part of negotiations? Are you sat in the room with Caroline Dubois' management?
So are we saying now that boxer can't land fights at DAZN can then?
No, I'm saying how the hell can they make a European title fight on the same night?
Would you take Dubois
on a different show?
So if you're managing Dubois, would you take it down the IBO route?
I've told you my opinion. I think this is going to get a world level fighters.
Right. Well, I think it's a strange choice, and I think Rihanna Dixon's having her career.
And exactly the same thing with Rihanna Dixon. If she wins this belt, it's going to attract the next level European fighter.
And will she go for the IBO? Would she even be interested? No, is the answer.
Of course she. So you're going to tell me, right, that if Rihanna Dixon wins this fight, Caroline Dubois wins that fight, and then both sets of management get their head together, you're going to tell me that Rihanna Dixon is going to turn around and say, "I'm not fighting Caroline Dubois because that IBO title was a lot of shot."
No. What? It won't be the fact about the IBO though, will it? It'll be the fact Caroline Dubois' name. That's what it will be. She would fight Caroline Dubois whether she had the IBO or nothing because it adds no value.
So you're trying to tell me then that no matchroom fighter has ever fought for an IBO world title?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is at this stage of her career, Caroline Dubois, I think it's very poor matchmaking.
Why is it? She's only 7.
It adds nothing to her career because she's going to go and blast this individual out, like I've said before. Wow. Who cares about the IBO? There's a lot of avenues she could have gone.
Just because you don't care about the IBO, other people do.
Nobody cares about the IBO.
Because she's come out on social media and said this is her opportunity for a first world title.
What do you expect her to say, Andy? She ain't going to come out and go, "I don't care about the IBO," is she?
No, because they've got a plan, Carl. That's why. They've got a plan.
Of course you have, yeah. Anyway, of course you have.
Anyway, you're clearly being very biased towards.
Not at all. I'm just realising good matchmaking.
Caroline Dubois. You're being bang out of order tonight.
It's all about good career development and matchmaking rather than poor one. That's the truth. It's my opinion.
I don't get it, mate. Why is it poor? Just because it's an IBO belt?
With an opponent, she's going to blast out. So we're going to know nothing after this. Nothing.
Right. So what about fighters fighting for intercontinental titles and silver titles and this and that? They're all shiting all then, are they?
But you can understand that because it gets some rankings within that governing body. What's this going to do? IBO.
I've already told you. I'm not repeating myself.
It ain't going to hold no water with any other governing body. It ain't going to hold no more water. And these champions or even elite fighters in other governing bodies aren't going to go, "Tell you what, yeah, I'm going to fight Caroline Dubois because I want that prestigious IBO belt." Ain't going to happen. So
Matt Nash is in the sidebar. Matt, do us a favour, mate. Are you able to jump on? Just jump on and talk a little bit of sanity on the show, please. Or at least give us a bit of sanity in the sidebar.
Well, what makes you think he's going to agree with you? He hadn't suggested that.
I'm not saying he is.
It's just nonsense. It frustrates me that she's been taken down the IBO route, which I think is nonsense.
This is a stepping stone, like I've told you.
To where?
You're missing the bigger picture, mate. This is going to get her the next level opponent.
I'm not. You're the one blinking. I'm thinking about the bigger picture because no one's going to care. No one's going to care.
No, you're wrong, mate.
So,
you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Anyway, back to the DAZN card. You keep bringing it back to Caroline Dubois. We've done that card already. Back to the DAZN card.
Just comparing it against a proper career development in Scotland and Rihanna Dixon.
Back to the DAZN card. So, also on the undercard, the progression of. Can you put the link in the sidebar for Matt Nash, please? Back to the undercard for DAZN. Shannon Ryan, who's currently sat at 5-0, super flyweight. She's ranked number 2 in the world already at Superfly. She's making a next step in a journey.
IBO.
You're getting boring, mate. She's making
the next... Well, if you want career development, you must go down the IBO, obviously.
There's so many different routes, Cole. Come on, get a grip, mate. Are we going to talk about this card sensibly, or are you just going to talk IBO crap?
Go on, carry on.
Put Matt Nash on the screen, please. Matt, you might not agree with me, Matt. You might agree with Cole, but at least you'll probably have a sensible explanation for why. Okay, so I don't know whether you was on early when we were talking about the Your Call card and Caroline Dubois fighting for the IBO World Lightweight title against. Shut up! I'm talking against Rodriguez.
Okay.
Now, Cole's saying it's shit matchmaking. It's ridiculous. No one cares about the IBO. She's never going to get a top level fighter, even though he ain't got a clue about Rodriguez. He don't know what level fighter she is. He's saying that having this, and my opinion is that at 7-0, fighting for the IBO World Lightweight title, because she can't fight for another world title because they're all taken and they're all held up, right? I think this belt will attract the next level fighter to progress a career.
Nonsense.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly, I don't know anything about the opponent. I think it's a marking time fight because I think they find it hard to matchmake her. Is my honest opinion.
Because no one wants to go in with her, do they, at the next level? Because what does she bring to the table? So, in my opinion, the fact that she holds a belt, regardless of what belt it is, it dangles a little bit of a carrot, Matt.
Oh dear.
I'll be honest, mate. I don't think the IBO belt is a massive carrot. But I think it's the only route they can go at the moment.
No, it's not though, Matt.
No, I think it's hard to match her because they've got to pay over the odds for people to get in with her.
Are you bipolar, Cole? You're clapping in 1 second and then you're having to pop it in the next.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I just said I didn't agree with part B. So, I'm able to do that. I think they could have gone a lot more credible routes, Matt. That was the point I was making.
And maybe they can, but they've got to put their hands in their pockets to get at them opportunities.
Exactly.
But it's difficult because you've got to. I don't know where her rankings are in the major governing bodies.
She's not in the top 10.
Okay, so people aren't going to look. People are going to be seeing her. She's not ranked in the top 10. She brings nothing to the table. They have everything to lose when they get in with her. So Boxer have got to put their hands in their pockets and make sure these people are well.
Are they able to do that?
Boxer? Well, I mean, given what they've put into signing some of these people, if you believe some of the figures not that I've heard figures, but Boxer paying over the top money to sign the prospects. Have they spent it all on signing them? Have they got anything left in the budget to actually make decent fights? I don't know.
See, Matt, the question's a very simple one. Will we learn any more on the back of this fight, and does it add any credibility to Caroline Dubois?
she can't win. If she smashes her out of there, then it adds no credibility. And if this person, I don't know what her record's like.
Daddy.
All right, no, darling. I'll see you later.
Aw.
Sweet dreams.
20. She's 22, 6-4 with 9 knockouts.
All right, so okay, so if Dubois gets her out of there in double quick time, we don't learn anything new. And if this girl takes her a few rounds, or how many rounds is it? 10?
Yeah.
Let's say this fight goes 8 rounds, then people are going to say, "Well, why didn't she get her out of there?"
So what you're saying is poor matchmaking, right? Well, it is. If that's your scenario.
No, but I think it's hard for them to get matches for her. And I think she's in the Who Needs a club at the moment.
Oh, of course.
So what do you do? She needs to be fighting. She needs to be active. But if you can't tempt better fighters to get in the ring with her, what do you do?
But the IBO is not going to do no favours.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Andy. I've got to agree. I don't think the IBO gives her any extra clout at a negotiating table at all.
Thank God we've got some common sense at last.
I appreciate, nobody, when they talk about undisputed, has the IBO on the end of it.
No, they don't, because it's not in the top 4. I completely get that, mate. But it's as credible as anything else that's on the table. It's as credible as a silver title. It's as credible as an intercontinental title, because them belts mean nothing as well, mate. They do nothing.
That helps in them governing bodies, though, don't it? With rankings, that's the only point.
Right. So when she wins this title, as I've already said, I'm sick and tired of repeating myself, but I will do. I feel like I've got an echo in this room. But as I've already said, that when she gets this title, mate, it's a stepping stone.
But she's still in the
Off the back of this, she'll get a better opponent.
But if you go down even the I don't think so, Andy. I think even if she goes down the WBC silver or whatever, eventually she can force her way into a mandatory by going that route. Whereas going down the IBO route, she's still in the Unizum club because no one's going, I'm going to jump in.
Look, I think, let's be fair, the title is befitting of the fighter that's holding it, and it's used. Lennox Lewis as IBO champion. He
must be crap then, mate. If he was IBO champion,
what I mean is that you guys know as well as I do, when it comes to promoting a fight, depending on what title you can put on the fight poster, depending on the fighter that's fighting for that title, that's where the clout comes from. And it can be easily used to say, well, it's a crap title for this particular fighter. Oh, but that fight is that pound for pound is fighting for it, so it must be worth having. Do you know what I mean? Ricky Hatton, where was he? Oh, he was WBU phrases, not the best example. Apologies. There was a time when the IBO was getting sort of like a bit of kudos and more fights and everything. No, I'm not saying they are now, but you boys know as well as I do that promoters, if they can find a way to put world championship on a poster, they will do.
That ain't going to change nothing, Matt. It ain't going to change nothing in negotiations, though, is it? Boxers still have to pay the bonus.
No, I don't think it will. No, but it's
that's your point of being a promoter, though, Matt, isn't it? You manipulate a situation.
But she'll get the same opportunity whether she's the IBO champ or not, in my view. She's still going to get the same opportunity. It's going to add nothing, absolutely nothing to further negotiations.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Sorry, Andy.
So what do you do then, Carl? Just keep a fighting bunch because you've already said...
I would have gone down a recognised governing body and worked my way up the rankings until I got into a mandatory position.
You've already said, mate, you've already said the division... The division's not stacked. You've already said there's not enough fights in female boxing.
There's enough there. There's enough there to be going at down the recognised governing bodies. There's enough there without going down the IBO. So I'd like to know if Mr. McGuigan would come out and say why he'd gone down the IBO. It'd be interesting.
It's a vacant title. Why not? At this point in the career, why not? It's a vacant title.
Because it doesn't add nothing. That's why. It doesn't add nothing.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong, mate. I think you're wrong. I really do. The thing is, you got to think about. You're looking at it from the prestige of male boxing. That's what you're looking at it from.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at it from a commercial perspective.
In male boxing, you got the English, you got the British, you got the Commonwealth, you got the European, and then you got 4 governing bodies at world title. Female boxing doesn't have an English title for one.
No, I'm thinking from a value added perspective. This does not add any value to the world's career, one iota.
I believe it does. I believe it does currently in female boxing. I believe it does.
No.
Now, in years to come, when female boxing becomes a lot stronger and they start adding more domestic titles, then it'll be a different matter. But right now, this is a good stepping stone for Caroline Dubois.
No, I just think there's other avenues she could have gone which would add more value.
Well, she might do. She might fight Rihanna Dixon for the European title next. You just don't know, do you?
But I just think, like I say, it's all about credibility. And even though when she gets that strap round her, when she's blasted this girl out in 2 rounds, it's still not going to add no value.
It'd be interesting to see, like, so as and when she does blast her out and she gets given the title and everything, like, as to, I don't think anybody's going to, with respect, nobody's going to believe that she's a bona fide world champion. And you'll probably, I mean, we'll see how much the Sky commentary team believe that, as like when she gets her hand raised, you know what I mean? Because what are you saying, that if she's an IBO,
of course they will, because they're paid by the broadcaster, aren't they?
No, I get that, but I'd hope that there's a little bit more, you know, if the likes of Andy Clark and what have you, like, there's a bit more. I don't think they try and con anybody in terms of making people believe that she's a bona fide world champion. She will be.
What they'll do is, Matt, you use the narrative that this puts her on the right path towards her eventual goal of becoming a world champion. That's what.
Of course, yeah. But then, but you can't then say she's on the path to being a world champion if you're giving her if she's fighting for a title that you believe is a world title. Do you know what I mean? Like it's yeah. I think she's unfortunately she's just a victim of her own success at the moment in terms of.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
She just looks quite formidable at the moment. So,
and like you've just said, Matt, no one's going to go near her. No one that is higher up in rankings than she currently is going to go anywhere near her, because if they get beat, then they drop down, and she goes and takes that spot.
Is there any? I'm not familiar with the division. So who's like the champions? And any ideas who the champions are in the division?
It's the lightweight division, isn't it?
Say that again, sorry.
It's the lightweight division.
Lightweight. Katie Taylor's weight.
Yeah.
Oh right. Well, she's not going to get to fight for any of those titles anytime
soon. Taylor, Chantel Cameron's happening, isn't it? So
unless she gets, I mean, if Taylor gets beaten, she retires. Or
that's my point of the old point that I was trying to make about the IBF situation. She can't be fighting for the other titles because they're not available, and they're not going to be available because Katie Taylor's going to fight Chantel Cameron again. Win, lose or draw, she's probably going to get the rematch that she wanted from the States.
Yeah.
And then she'll probably retire. The belts will then get split, and then you'll see Caroline Dubois fighting for one of the proper titles.
I think Dubois will leave boxer anyway, and I think she'll end up with his own, especially when Katie Taylor's retired and there's a gap in the stable.
Now, I'm not convinced, mate. I think fighters are old. The Sky broadcaster, not boxer, but in particular, but the Sky broadcaster, and the fact that it gives them more eyeballs. And some fighters see that as a big thing.
Yeah, but it's all about the pound note as well. So, you know, DAZN like to throw a bit of cash around, don't they? So I'm sure if a lucrative contract put under her nose, bottom line is the prize fighters.
They'll throw the pound note around if they believe it's the right fighter. They've already proven by letting.
I guess she is, because she's you could argue the brightest talent in female boxing. And look,
agreed. Yeah,
with her age, you know, she's got a lot of longevity. They can build the brand and actually get her fighting for a decent title rather than the IBO.
Did Matchroom try and sign her in the first place, Carl?
Don't know.
They may well have done, but they probably wouldn't have been willing to pay whatever it is that Sky might have stumped up. Do you know what I mean?
You're probably right there, Matt.
But they've, I think, that's the whole DAZN Matchroom, whatever Sky boxer is a conversation for another time.
So a couple more prospects before we finish, mate. A couple more prospects on the Sky Undercard we're not spoken about. Shannon Ryan, who's looking really good, super flyweight. She's moving into an 8-rounder against again, I can't read my own writing. Apologies. I'm having a bit of a mare tonight, mate. I'm very tired, as you can probably tell with my attitude towards Carl. Anyway, my point is, Shannon. My point is, Shannon Ryan. Shannon Ryan is looking quite dangerous in the division.
Andy, that comment should cheer you up in the sidebar.
What comment's that? Anyway, back to my thought process from before. It wouldn't surprise me if this is Cole just made his own name up just to troll me.
No.
Shannon Ryan, as I was saying, he's looking quite dangerous in the division. She's obviously got the big promoter behind her. She's currently sat at number 2 in the rankings in the super flyweight division. This is an 8-rounder. It seems clear to me what is likely to happen here. Now, the number 1 ranked in the division is Lauren Parker, who in December's fighting for the European title. We spoke to Lauren Parker on the show. There's an interview on the channel with her. I can see if Lauren wins that title, that they'll go after her and check with Shannon Ryan, and I think that fight will get made, which is a brilliant fight. I've seen up close. I've seen Lauren Parker spar. She's seriously dangerous. Very, very good power.
Definitely IBO quality.
Yeah. Apparently so, Carl. Yeah.
World title next week.
You're a fool, mate.
Get her in.
Last one on the card, because I'm ignoring your comments now because you're boring me. Last one on the card. Maisie Rose Courtney, again, someone that they're pushing. She's at flyweight. She's currently sat at 4-0. This one will take her to 5-0.
She's getting a massive push, isn't she?
Yeah. She's in the right stable. The matchroom, if you want to call it the matchroom stable. They've got big eye hopes for her, obviously. You know, she's still quite raw in my opinion, though. Still sat at 4.
Big West Ham following.
Yeah. But that pretty much covers the matchroom card.
So the last one then, which is going to be a quality fight, absolute quality.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Have you seen that comment in the sidebar?
No. Which one?
Tank's a fraud, by the way.
Oh yeah, if you see, I've made a comment underneath. Yeah, Rowley's having one, isn't there? Rowley's having a wind up.
Mate, if Carl puts the link in the sidebar, do you fancy joining us on screen? I know how me and Carl have just had it, and we go.
He ain't going to jump on, is he? He's just on the wind up.
Feel free to join us and give us your explanation of why you think that about Tank. I don't understand where you're getting that from, but please join us and let us know. It'd be good to talk about. But while he's thinking about that, Carl, what was you going to say? Last topic? Oh yeah.
Just said it's a great fight. 9th of December has been announced. Haney versus Progran. I'll put it the other way around. Done it for a laugh. What a great fight. It's just what, just what American boxing needs, don't it? The best starter to fight the best. I think Devin Haney wins. I didn't realise that pro grades were 34. You know what I think about Haney. I just think he's different gravy. I think he finds a way to win. And he's just. I think he's the next big star of American boxing. He's absolutely quality. People think he's boring. I don't. I think it's all about the sweet science, and I think it's quality the way he hits, but doesn't get hit. So that I think he'll stop Prograde late on.
Matt, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I'm not going to please you again, but I'm going to agree with Carl. It's I do think he's I think Haney's different gear. I think, and I've thought that for a little while about him. I don't see. I think he might turn up, and I think he might make this an easier fight than people think. Not to like the Crawford Spence sort of level, but I do think that there's part of me just thinks he's just going to tame Prograis. Yeah, I think he could be that good.
He's certainly proved it. He's certainly stepped up every time he's been in there, Anti, and dealt with everyone convincingly. I rate Prograis though. I think his quality, and I don't think he beats Aine by any stretch, but I think you might find that he gives Aine his biggest fight so far, and I think he'll ask Aine questions that no one else has asked. But again, I unfortunately I hate agreeing with Carl, but I'm going to have to on this occasion.
I think Prograis world class, but not elite.
Yeah, he is world class, Carl. He is world class, and it's tough. You can't turn down a fight with Aine. Aine's defense is just it's ridiculous how good his defense is. Some people will call it boring, but to boxing purists, it's the sweet science. It's hit without being hit, isn't it? You know, it's just different gravy, like you've already said. Yeah, I can only see one winner, but I think Prograis pushes him more than anyone else.
Right, Matt, why we got you on, because we're not sure whether you're going to be on next week. Let's talk about this bad boy. So, first of all, congratulations on the nipper. Are you going to, and I won't say it too loud in case the wife is, but are you going to get to Sheffield or not?
No, I'm not getting to Sheffield, mate. No. I've actually got a bleeding engagement party to go to, so I'm going to be watching the fight on my phone in the corner of a pub somewhere.
Oh, you're joking.
No, I know. I think Lee Wood wins in a firefight. I think 4 or 5 rounds. The reason I think that is because Warrington can't stand off and box, because if he stands off him, Wood's going to box his ears off at range and maybe take him out late. I think Warrington's got to fight like he did against Carl Frampton and sort of box fight. So he's got to try and fight if Wood wants to box and box when Wood wants to fight. Has he still got that in him though?
Well,
no, I don't think so. But I think it's his best. I think it's his best chance because he, like I said, he can't stand off Lee Wood.
One thing you can be sure though, Matt. Sorry, one thing you can be sure, this is going to be the best Warrington that he can possibly be into. Because this is his final chance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think. But I don't think you're not going to see a Josh Warrington that was as good as he was against Selby or as he was against Frampton. That was his peak. And it's not because he's a bad fighter. It's just because I think he's had. When he lost his title to who's that? What's the fella's name? I can't remember. He looked like a little bit like Lopez. Thank you. He looked a little bit like a fighter that night who had just. He's not quite had one too many fights, but he's not far off it. I think
Father Time's caught up with him a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I think his best. I think Wood may even go down in this fight. I think Wood may even get a count because I think, like I said, Warrington's got to take it to him. Whether we like to admit it or not, Wood is vulnerable, and sometimes when he gets caught upright and he looks a little bit disorganised. I don't think, but Wood knows. He's learned from that first Lara fight. I mean, I just think it's going to be I genuinely think it's going to be an absolute barnstormer. I really do, and it has to be Warrington who makes the fight, because if he doesn't, he gets his head boxed off. Just my personal opinion. I'm sure there's plenty of people in Leeds who would disagree, but yeah, 4 or 5 rounds, and I think it'd be nomination for Fight of the Year.
Well, it's quite fitting that we give you the last word on the show. Me and Andy will cover it next week, but I just want to get your prediction because you may not be on next week.
Yeah. Nice one.
So, Matt, thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Sorry about this nonsense about the IBO, but he'll have more sleep next week, so he'll stop talking nonsense.
It's always
Thank
amusing to see you two having a little squabble.
Thank you to all the comments in the sidebar. I better thank Andy, but Andy, go and read up on the IBO for crying out loud.
Well,
Fight week next week.
All I'm going to say before you close the show, mate, is stop being a hater of Boxer and
No. I do give him credit where it's due, but I just think that I'll say it one more time. This is shocking matchmaking, and let's see if I'm proved wrong.
See, that's a ridiculous comment. I understand that you don't like the IBO.
It's not.
IBO.
It's not. So we'll see. So Leewood fight week next week. Last Bell Boxing will be at some of the pre-fight events, so keep an eye out for that.
Just before we go, before you close out, we're going to a couple of local shows Saturday night and Sunday. So there's a show in Nottingham on Saturday, a small old show. All the local boxers will be on there. Scott Kalo promotion from the Rushcliffe Arena. Anyone that fancies a night of boxing, get yourself down there.
Sold out. It's sold out. It's sold out. You can't. No. It's sold out. There's no tickets on the door either. It's all sold out.
It's sold out.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. So obviously, that's great. That's great news for the fighters. That means all the fighters have done really well on the tickets. We all know about small old shows and the fact that fighters have to sell the tickets to pay their opponents, especially if they're coming from abroad. It's very expensive. So brilliant news that mate. So Sunday is a Carl Greaves promotion in Leicester at the Athena Arena. Again, real top talent. Is that one sold out, Carl? Okay.
No.
So there's still tickets available for that.
If you research, you might know. But anyway, that's for another day.
There's still tickets available for that. You can get them from all the Carl Greaves' fighters. They're all on social media. Get in contact with them direct, and they'll be very happy to get a ticket to you. Please get yourselves down these shows. They're brilliant. They're always good value. Great night of boxing. So a lot of footage will be dropping on the channel from this weekend. Post-fight interviews will be all over the channel. I'll let you crack on now, Carl.
And keep an eye out for the new merchandise. Little teaser there, Matt. Little teaser. So yeah, a little bit of merchandise we're wearing at the shows. You know how it is, Matt. Growing channel and all that.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a t-shirt with your face on it though.
Don't be like that, Matt. Don't be like that. Oh, you've shot your freebie now, haven't you? I was even going to sign it for you.
Can you hold the pen?
Get in. Sign it. Oh,
sign it. Love Cole. Sign it. Cole IBO. But anyway, that's it. Matt, thanks for joining, fella. This has been Last Ball Boxing, sponsored by LW Liftings. We'll see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. Keep an eye out on the channel, like Andy said, in a long-winded way for the content dropping from this weekend. Don't be going down to Rushcliffe on Saturday because it's sold out. Sunday, Carl Greaves, Leicester. Get your tickets, Carl Greaves Promotions. Job done. Thank you.